One of the things that we are going to go over is how to set this up. But before we do that, I do want to show you a couple of tips and tricks when using this agent. So you want to make sure this agent searches through different databases in order to find contacts that are related to your ICP. And so it's very important that when you actually begin to use the agent, you are able to fill out those fields effectively so that you can maximize and optimize the results that you get from the agent itself. So I'm going to go through a couple of good tips. One thing that seems a bit counterintuitive uh, is that the more criteria that you add actually won't expand the list of people you get. It actually narrows it down. And so the more specific you are, the smaller your result set will be. And in some cases, if you're too specific, if you're overly specific, you may not find leads in that particular database if your search is too restrictive. So just keep that in mind as you're going through. You'll need to find that happy medium. If you go very broad, you're going to get a lot of leads, but they might not necessarily be all related to the specific industry that you're looking for. Versus if you add too much criteria, it might not give you the results at all. The other thing is you want to make sure that you use clear and common role titles. So stick with just standard job titles when you enter the job title here in this form. Here, let me go to just a blank form, and I'll show you how to get to this agent as well in the MindStudio and how to get set up. So in this form where it says enter job titles, make sure you're sticking to just standard job titles. For example, head of sales, a marketing director, operations manager, all very common job titles, and avoid any unconventional or vague terms that might not be recognized. The other thing is you have this keywords section, and you want to make sure that you're not overloading this section with too many keywords. You'll want to stick to just one or two keywords that are related to each other. What this agent does is we get a bunch of data back about the individual person when we search through the database, and then the AI itself will cross-reference that individual for the keywords that we're looking for in that person's description. And so if it does not find those keywords, it might not add them to your HubSpot contact list. So just something to be aware of. I like to stick to industries, so software, SaaS, retail, B2B, these kind of common terms are a really good way to maximize the amount of results that you get. And then the other thing is that you should, as you're using this agent, expect variability. Some of your searches are going to return many, many results, and others might return just a few. This variability is completely normal, so you just need to make sure that you experiment with different input combinations and make sure to find what works best as you are using the agent. So here is an example of a very broad search and a very specific search. So here we have a broad search, sales director in California. We know organization and retail. This is almost the exact same search that I made. This resulted in many more contacts added to our HubSpot CRM versus a job title that is, several different job titles, more vague location, so major tech hubs, financial centers, and then several keywords all used in the same exact search. What you get at the end of this agent is you get this table of all the people that were added to your CRM. And so this is a table of 25 people. However, you can see this is page one of 351 pages of potential people that we can add. And if we look in our HubSpot CRM, we can see all of those people are here. All of them have associations to the company CRM as well. So for those of you that are familiar with HubSpot, there is a CRM for contacts, companies, deal flows, all that stuff. So we create the company association by default, which is super useful because you can find all of the people that are associated with that one company, and begin to kind of build your library of contacts all related to that same company. Super useful feature inside of HubSpot. So you can continue searching for people with that same criteria simply by clicking on the next button that appears. It'll pull the next page of results. So if I click on the next button, it'll ask you if you want to see more people like this. You can say yes. It'll begin searching for a new list. Now, a couple of things to keep in mind is that this side panel is not on by default. But you may want to go through and look for, it'll look like this by default. You may want to go through and find uh, previous searches and continue with a previous search so you don't actually search and add the same people multiple times to your CRM. In order to get that side panel, which shows all of your previous search history, you'll want to click on these three dots at the top right, and then you'll see Show History. And this is super important because I can now go back to all of my previous searches. So for example, I have the sales director, mid-market retail. It will go to this previous, oops, sorry. It will go to my previous search. Here we go. This is actually still the current search here. And it will open up my previous search history here. So let me see if I can open this up one more time. There we go. So this is a previous search. This is a page 1 of 1, so there's no need to continue searching for these contacts. And at the same time, the current run will still be searching for people. So it's still going through verifying those people. You don't have to worry about switching tabs or anything. Once it starts running, it runs in the background, and it will continue running. And you can actually, run it on separate tabs for separate searches all at the same time. It will still be able to function. So you can have, multiple searches all happening at the same time. So we're going to pass along at the very end of this session a couple of materials. One is going to be a video so that you can watch the video back to learn how to use this agent. And then the other is going to be this guide on how to actually use this prospecting agent here. And just make sure that you follow the steps in your guide. So the first, obviously, is you need to make sure that you have both a HubSpot account and a MindStudio account. Those links are here. For the MindStudio account, click on this special link and you will get a discount for MindStudio. And the second thing is you'll need to connect HubSpot to MindStudio. The way that this works, so once you create a new account on MindStudio, I'm actually gonna, there we go, the run finished. It added the second page. We can see the contacts are now added into our HubSpot account. In just a couple of minutes, we've gotten 50 new leads in our new HubSpot CRM, and you can run this over and over and over. It's awesome. Once you create an account on HubSpot and MindStudio, you'll want to make sure that you're actually signed into HubSpot on a separate tab. And then you create an account in MindStudio and you're taken to this place called your workspace. Your workspace has a bunch of sections on the left-hand side, and you'll want to make sure that you add the HubSpot integration into MindStudio in order for this to function properly. The way you do that is you click into Workspace, and then you can see this section called Integrations, and then you can simply click on this HubSpot integration here. So you can see I'm already signed in to my HubSpot. It's connected to the CRM directly. Clicking on this button, you just sign into HubSpot. This gets added in here, and then you can find the agent. And of course, we have a link to the agent directly in this guide. You can find the agent here. But if you are just on MindStudio, the easy way to find the agent is to go into this ready to use section here and then simply type in HubSpot. And you'll find that there is this HubSpot CRM agent, this is the agent that you're looking for. We actually have another agent that we're not going to showcase today, but there's another agent in here that you are also welcome to use. And then you click on the run button, and it will go ahead and open up this agent and create a new run where we can either search for a new ICP, or we can go to our previous searches and continue running our previous searches. So again, you can use this as many times as you want. There are also these same tips here. Adjust your scope to based off of the goal. Do you want to get a lot of leads? Keep your search very broad. As you start, make sure to start simple and then refine your search. And then, these other tips that we have talked about on this at the beginning of this call. So it's super useful, super easy to use. Uh, Again, all you do is open up the agent, enter your ICP criteria, job title, location, optional company size, domain, and keywords, and it will begin finding potentially hundreds of agents that you can add to your CRM instantly. So that is the agent. I know it's a pretty quick demo, but the agent just works in the background. I'm going to keep running this. I'm going to go ahead and keep adding more sales directors to our CRM. Maybe we can actually, before we open up the floor for questions, maybe Dimitri, do you have anything else to add about the agent itself, or anything I missed?
I think it's really clear.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, in that
Yeah,
case,
again,
I
I
will
think
stop.
the magic of it is you do very little work in
Right.
logging into HubSpot and configuring creating a MindStudio account, and then you fill out a short form, and then you wait, and you've got leads. Like I wish everything was that easy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, well, I will stop
That was
sharing my screen
probably
and maybe we can take some questions.
yes. Yeah, that was very easy. You made it look too easy, Louise. So two quick ones, right? So Dika has asked, is there an option to basically not add the leads to HubSpot automatically so that they could verify or double check to keep their CRM hygiene up to speed?
Yeah, that's a really great question. So the way that this agent is built in MindStudio, it does add them automatically. However, on MindStudio, you have the ability to like make a copy of this agent, open it up under the hood, and add your own features to it. And so that is super easy to do. I'll actually go back to my screen share. So if we go to this HubSpot agent here. We'll click on ready to use. Sorry, can folks see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. Hold on one second. My tabs are freezing. There we go. Okay, go into this agent, and you, rather than clicking on the run button, if you simply click on the agent itself, you'll get a preview page of this particular agent. And if you click on this these three dots here, you can find an option to make a copy of this agent. When we make a copy, we get the entire agent, and we can begin to add other features. And even make our own agents. You can see what it looks like under the hood, and add whatever you'd like into it. We have specifically a checkpoint block that's made for that particular use case. So you just simply add the checkpoint block into your the workflow that this agent has, and then you're good to go.
Yeah, meaning you should first watch some tutorials or come to one of our boot camps to understand how MindStudio works. But it's really easy to learn to use MindStudio to build all kinds of things, or to take this agent and completely customize it for your needs. And so learn to use it, and then you've got all kinds of superpowers.
Fantastic. Great that we can add it and it's so composable. I think that that's really the power of Mind Studio as you guys are showing. Other quick one, I kind of roughly know the answer. I believe it's Hunter Apollo, but where is the data pulling from? Sean asked, and then I suppose Karen has asked, and like what's going on in the background, which tools are finding leads. So kind of the same question essentially. How is the agent doing its magic, and what are the data sources behind it?
Yeah, so maybe I'll start
Yeah.
and I'll frame, and then Luis can give you the specifics. So again, MindStudio allows you to get data from anywhere the data is available. So you can get data from Apollo or Clay or Hunter, or you can scrape the web, or you can get data from whatever social media services. You can connect to anything, that's public, or you've got, you know, credentials to connect to. And then you can get that data, and then the agent can take it and analyze it and enrich it and do all of that. And so the answer is like, what can it do? Is it can connect to all of them simultaneously or any combination of them and get it. In this case, this agent connects to Apollo as its
Yeah.
backend, as the database. Although again, the real caveat is if you wanted to use other services or if you wanted to add additional databases to it, that's really, really easy to do. And so that's kind of the magic flexibility of this type of a pattern.
Fantastic. I think that was it on the question side. I think because the demo was so simple and clean. I won't say simple. I know lots of stuff is happening in the background, but because it was so clean, I'll give you a final question. Oh, cost. So Nikita asked on the cost. So I can maybe answer on the HubSpot side. HubSpot, you can start with free and then you can move up to starter. But to actually use this agent or run this agent, you can do this with HubSpot's free CRM. I think the answer from MindStudio is going to be a bit nuanced because it's agent runs and it's basically, again, the cost of running the agent. But again, I don't want to simplify it too much, Luis and Dimitri, on the cost of MindStudio.
Luis, do you want to take that? Actually, even before
Yeah.
perhaps we jump into that, somebody's asking, I think a few folks, uh, uh, do you need an Apollo account?
Yes, that was coming up next. Yeah.
Right. And the answer is you do not need an Apollo
No.
account.
Right.
So you don't have to set up Apollo account. You don't have to pay anything to Apollo. This is all abstracting that. And so you just install, you got to have HubSpot, you got to have MindStudio, and then you're good to go. Yeah. And yeah, Luis, do you want to talk about like how people pay and how that works?
Sure, yeah. Let me share my screen one more time. So MindStudio has you can sign up for MindStudio completely for free as well. If you look at our pricing page, we've got a free account that gives you access to this particular HubSpot to ICP agent. Additionally, inside of the once you sign up for an account on MindStudio, you can also see information about this agent. So this agent, you can see the average run cost and the average run time. This agent cost about under $1 to run the agent one time and get back a bunch of different leads that are instantly added to your CRM. If you were to compare this to the cost of getting a very large leads list and also filtering through that list using manpower, it's obviously significantly cheaper to run the agent versus kind of DIYing it on your own. And all of these are just the way that this is billed is kind of like the electric company. When you turn on a light bulb, you pay for the electricity. The same thing is happening here for all of these different events that allow this agent to run. So that includes the people search, that includes, enriching the contact and a couple of other AI functions here.
Fantastic. And then one clarifying, and I don't want to answer it for you, from Fabian, what does one run mean? So my take is what Luis just showed you there, right? You put in your search, you get those 83 contacts, that's one run, and then it's kind of up to you if you want to keep doing multiple. Like if you get hooked on the candy of free leads, well, not they're not free leads, but you get hooked on the candy of leads, you can keep pressing run, run, run. And as Luis said, it will just keep going like a phone bill. So as much as you want, you will pay.
Yeah.
Well, in the average cost per lead are fractions of pennies,
Yes.
right?
Hmm.
And so like leads are effectively free. Right. As compared to like the amount of time it would take you to even like load something to try to go find a lead, right?
Right.
The cost here is becomes negligible. Now, if you want
Right.
millions of leads, you've got to have a bit of a budget. But I would argue you probably don't need millions of leads. What you need are smaller amount of good leads, and so this is transformative.
Absolutely. And question from Catherine, and again, over to you guys, would be, will it behave differently if we change the LLM from Gemini? So I know we're not using LLMs, but if you wanted to change it, so it's probably a bit of a take a step back, and if they were using and creating different agents, does it matter which LLM that they're using? It probably depends on the use case, right?
Yeah, this is I guess a fundamentally a MindStudio thing. So MindStudio connects to over 200 models and new models being added all the time. So Google's Gemini is one set, obviously OpenAI, Anthropic, and many others. Um, they all behave a little bit differently, and when you're building an agent or customizing an agent, we make it easy for you to test which models are best for your use case. In fact, we have a tool built into MindStudio called Profiler that allows you in real time to test many models simultaneously for it. In this case, for this agent, um, uh, again, I'm not sure how much it would matter if you change the model here for what we're using it for. Gemini models are some of the more popular models that people use because they've got these like huge, they're called context windows. They can handle a lot of data, where models from other providers have smaller context windows. And so we tend to use them quite a bit. But yeah, you can mix and match models and you can experiment, and again, once you learn to build agents with MindStudio, you kind of have all kinds of flexibility of doing stuff.
Fantastic.
Mhm.
Question from Karen, and just so we don't get, just so as I said, I stay true to my mission of helping you startups to scale and grow. So there's a question on if I didn't want to use a HubSpot CRM, uh, basically how would you use it? So if I have a non-HubSpot CRM, which MindStudio block needs to be remapped to a different CRM, and basically how would you do that?
Yeah, so again, first you would need to make sure that you know how to use MindStudio, and so you'd need to go and go to our what we call it MindStudio University, and you'd need to understand how the blocks are, and then when you edit the agent, you will see that there are blocks that connect to HubSpot, and put the leads into HubSpot. And if you wanted to put them into whatever, like a Google Sheet or some other CRM, you'd need to replace those blocks, or I think just one block in this case, and connect to other things. Yeah.
And do you guys have those? And again, probably to follow on that folks are thinking, do you guys have them pre-built, or is it easy for folks to know how to add that block that's not a HubSpot block in Salesforce,
Yeah,
Python?
there are blocks for connecting to, again, lots of people like to connect to spreadsheets. And so we have blocks for Google Sheets and Airtable and Coda and all kinds of things.
Notion.
Notion. And then also you can very easily call APIs from MindStudio, so you can connect to anything imaginable. Um, yeah, so lots of flexibility on doing that. Yeah, but of course, again, the thing that we like here, one's just being a user ourselves, a customer of HubSpot. It's kind of like, well, all the other capabilities. So like once you get into HubSpot, then kind of sky's the limit. You can sort of do very few things with kind of even smart spreadsheets like Airtable and Coda and things like that. For
Well,
specifically for sales, like I said.
yeah, I appreciate your endorsement. It sounds a lot better
Well,
coming from
well,
you
like
rather than me,
Yeah.
who's very biased on the HubSpot situation.
yeah, yeah. Look, I mean, we can talk a bit about it again, kind of experiences of this, having built, as I said, 3 startups and struggled with like, where's your source of truth? And kind of what are the trade-offs on it. There are certainly plenty of CRMs that are out there that we could have chosen. or gone and kind of built even custom things, right? Because again, MindStudio sort of lets you build a bunch of custom things. And so we ended up with HubSpot because it's just, to me, it's kind of, and to Luis, kind of a duh, where
Yeah.
you super easy to use, um, uh, extraordinarily flexible, now AI enabled, um, inexpensive, compared to other things. Again, even if we would have built it ourselves, would have taken a bunch of time and just didn't make any sense, or used others. And so it's kind of like, I guess in my mind, I don't have any doubts. Like I never shop around anymore. If I need a CRM, like get a
It
HubSpot
just makes
account.
sense.
It
Yeah.
just makes sense. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, with that, let me just say there's one final thing from Catherine. So I've probably got some emails to catch on, but new to HubSpot as a startup, best tutorials to focus on first, quickest route. Catherine, if you want to drop my, I think I dropped my email before. We do like HubSpot 101 sessions that are on Luma, but I can send you, and if anyone else wants them, there's my email. If you want to follow up with a link to invite to them HubSpot 101 sessions, I can absolutely send it on to you. Most of you, if you were to apply to the program, like I showed at the start with the QR code, you'll be invited to these sessions organically to come just check it out and see what you think of it. Um, but with that, I think we're good on questions. I just want to say a massive thank you, Dimitri, Luis. This has been fantastic. I think the power of the agent speaks for itself. I think for folks, there's plenty of interest. Go check out MindStudio. You've seen how composable for folks like me, not very technical, you can go build an agent and really power your sales and your marketing. So please do go check out MindStudio, HubSpot together, and we hope to see many of you being lovely, loyal customers at some point in the future. So thank you both. Go enjoy your Thanksgiving. I know that's this week across the pond. So have a wonderful time. And thanks to everyone who joined the call today. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks, Gary, and thanks everyone. Good to see
Yeah.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for having us.
Take care.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.